Tatum looking. Loops it in. Nice play by Pritchard. Gets it back in the hands of Tatum. Tatum spins on the baseline, goes hard to the basket, gets two and a foul.
One question I do not have about this Celtics team is who is the closer. Welcome in here to Celtics Postgame Live, presented by your New England Ford dealer. I am Abby Chin. He is our insider, Chris Forsberg. Kendrick Perkins, so blown away.
I envision that Tatum's winner went in and Perk just hit the floor. So we're trying to restore his internet, but we'll see what happens.
He's working on it. In the meantime, Chris, the Celtics have now won back-to-back games for the first time since January 24th, 25th.
Crazy.
And while they did it in dramatic fashion, you saw a lot of what you wanted to see from this team tonight.
And especially from Jason Tatum. When those are the moments that no matter what he's doing as his star turn happens, becomes All-NBA, All-Star, all these things, like this is what you want. For the guy to step up in the biggest moments and make big plays, and he had a whole bunch of them down the stretch, including that post-up to hit the winner. This is a guy who, Abby, we were sitting here this morning saying he's out of gas, he needs a day off. Nope, he goes to another level and gets them to the finish line in another much-needed win.
Chris, I asked him this morning, have you thought about taking a break? And he said, no, we just got to play this out. And you know he looks forward to these matchups against Bradley Beal, who put up 46 points, but it was the Celtics who, I mean, I was concerned with 4.7 seconds left, but the Celtics got the stop when they needed it most.
Yeah, and this is what they needed, right, is when the one thing they've had trouble with is in crunch time, getting the defensive stop. And as the Wizards started to stretch this thing out, it felt like, man, are they going to get that stop? They did when it mattered most, especially there at the end. Tatum part of that trap, forcing the last Beal miss. But Jason, a big night there at the finish line. We got a chance to catch up with him after the game. Right here with Jason Tatum. Jason, take us through that last possession, the post up to win it.
We had a play drawn up, and then, if it didn't work, Brad told me to go post up, in that mid-post area and make a play. So I tried to do, and, we got a big stop.
What were you telling the team there at the end when they started to stretch it out a little bit? How did you guys get back in this one?
Just stay in it. I think it got to like 9 or 10 with 3 minutes left, 3.5 minutes. And anybody that played basketball know how much, how long of a time that is to make a run, to make something happen. And, we believe in ourselves, down 5 or 40 seconds left. We just found a way.
We were asking you this morning if you were tired, if you needed a game off. Where did you get the energy tonight to sort of take it to another level?
It was winning time. We told each other we got to dig deep in that timeout, do whatever it takes to figure it out.
And last thing, you said that you definitely wouldn't do the dunk contest, but after that poster on Robin Lopez, any reconsideration?
I mean, if you watched last game when I got stuffed by the rim, I had to make up for that.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
31 points from Jason Tatum, and now we got Big Perk here with us. Perk, we joked that shot, the win for the Celtics, did it blow you out of your seat? Took the computer out? Took everything out? You all right?
No, I'm good. I was just trying to get everything situated. Sometimes I be having technical difficulties, but I was watching the game, and listen, I'm going to say this. The most impressive thing about Jason Tatum is that he didn't settle. Down 3, and he didn't settle for that sidestep 3. He attacked the basket, got to where he wanted to go, and then got a great defensive stop, forced the turnover, got it again in his mid-post area, attacked the basket again, got the layup, and then on the other end, great recognition by Jason Tatum to say, you know what, I'm going to trap Bradley Beal. You're going to have to score over 2 people, so somebody else is going to have to beat us. But great job by JT. That should have been an and one on the first drive, getting back into the play, trapping without fouling, causing a turnover, getting it back, just going look, outside the court, Jason Tatum and Bradley Beal are probably great friends. When they get between those lines, as we saw tonight, they trying to go at each other next, and you love to see it.
Oh, yeah, the emotions in that.
And it wasn't Brad's fault, as Drew pointed out. It was where Tatum had fallen. That caused the ground to be wet. Brad slipped out of bounds, and that allowed for Boston to get the ball back, and ultimately Jason Tatum to score the winning bucket for Boston as we now start the crossover, and we welcome in Tony and Jason. Guys, it looked like the Wizards had this one. It looked like the Wizards were going to get their 10th win of the month. But what do you take away from this game? Tony, I'll start with you. The fact that they came back, they had the lead. Do you look at it as positives? Do you look at it negatives? What are you thinking?
I look at it as a positive. It's just that last 20 seconds needs to be tightened up. I thought the Wizards played a solid second half, particularly in the fourth quarter with their defense is what really got them back into the game. You look at the energy that they played with on that end and then the execution on the offensive end. But again, it starts with that last that turnover by Brad falling in the wet spot. And then when he comes off that screen for that last play, he's not able to recognize the double team is coming quick enough, and so he's not able to get the ball out of his hands, and his teammates don't recognize that he's getting double teamed, and therefore he's being the unselfish guy. You see it right here. He recognized, oh, there's a double team. He's looking for somebody, but they recognize it too late. There's only 4 seconds on the clock, and so he still almost makes a shot. So tough break right there for the Wiz.
You know, I think Tony said it right. That was just a tough game. The Celtics were not playing well in the first half. The Wizards didn't even make a field goal until halfway through the first quarter. I think it was just a hard-fought, ugly game. A lot of free throws in that first half, but the second half, the Wizards fought back. They got close towards the end, but that defense, that turnover by Bradley Beal, obviously nothing he could do about that. The wet spot on the floor. He just slipped on the baseline, foot touched the baseline. Tough loss for the Wizards.
A tough loss indeed, and guys, let's not take away from this month. This month has been so good. They have 9 wins. They suffer this 1-point loss. Drew, the late-game execution has been good. They've been able to get the wins. This one went against them. How do you take this game now and realize you've got 2 more before the All-Star break against Memphis and against L.A. and try to get one of those 2, if not both of them?
I mean, well, you look at this tape. You can't – this is not a game where you say, all right, we're going to let this go. We're going to get some sleep, have temporary amnesia, and play the next game. You have to look at what you did wrong down the stretch. Credit Brad Stevens, late game execution, had Tatum as the inbounder to ultimately get an ISO on Brad for that last bucket right here. I mean, and then we don't send a double team to him, but they sent the double team to Brad on the other end, which caused the Wizards to get in distress. So credit Coach Stevens and the Celtics for getting it done late in this game. But tip your hat off to the Wizards. They've been playing great defense, great basketball in the month of February. They should not let this derail them on what they have going on. Okay, so you don't let it derail them, right? Now you've got Memphis coming in. You've got Ja Morant, an explosive player. Memphis, Tony, when you go on the plane tonight and you come back to D.C., where is your mind going? Is it, like Drew said, you watch this film and you prepare, or are you already watching film of Memphis?
Drew's absolutely right. You definitely watch this film because there are a lot of good things to take from this game. There are some ups and some downs, but the part that I like is the adjustments that they made from being down. That's what you want to show on the positive side. This is how we get back in the games. This is how we play, fellas. These are the things that contribute to winning basketball when you talk about executing deep on the offensive end and defensively covering for one another. They played the perfect game, I thought, up until the last, I wouldn't call it perfect, but they played a great game up until that last 25, 30 seconds. That's when you really need to see better execution, and that's where the mistakes happen. Ultimately, that's how Boston got back into the game, capitalizing on those mistakes. It's just a matter of recognition in the crucial part of this basketball game, which was right down that last 30 seconds or so. The Wizards take care of that, and they're talking about a victory tonight as opposed to being on the other side.
You know, and I actually agree with that. They just got to go out there. They got to make sure that they make a conscious effort. Granted, this was a back-to-back game. Tough start to the game, but they fought and they stayed with it the entire game. You got to applaud them for that. Then moving on for these next 2 games before All-Star break, finish it out before the All-Star break. Don't check it out too early, too soon, but make sure you finish out Memphis and then get some get back against the Clippers as well. This is a team that's playing very, very well before the All-Star break. They need to keep that chemistry, that offensive flow, and look at Bradley Beal just having fun. Keep that fun out there when you come back out of All-Star break and go out there and start another streak post All-Star break.
Yeah, I agree with